Hello developers, I'm Exodia, and today we have a brand new scripting tutorial on coroutines. I'm excited to get into this one, and I hope you are too. So let's get into the video. So, before we get into actually coding coroutines, I'd like to talk about why coroutines are useful in Roblox Studio to begin with. Typically, when you have a script created in the ServerScript service, like I have here, that runs in one thing which we call a thread on your computer. And that thread is only going to run in the confines of that script. When we use coroutines, we're in a sense creating a new thread. Now, what that means is that we will be able to, in a sense, run multiple scripts simultaneously at the same time inside of that script. So to explain that in a bit better terms, we could basically just have one server script running multiple segments of code at the same time, consecutively. And now what this is going to look like in code, if we go into this script, is going to look a little bit something like this. Now here in this example script, I have all the main basic stuff that you need to know about coroutines that I think is important to cover in this short and simple tutorial. So the functions we will be going over are coroutine.create, coroutine.wrap, coroutine.yield, coroutine.resume, as well as coroutine.status. And first, I'd like to start with coroutine.status. As when I've tried using it, I found it to be a bit buggy. I don't know if I'm just using it wrong, but typically it's supposed to print the status of a coroutine. Now, so this coroutine is a new thread, right? And I believe there are a few different things that it'll print out when you use coroutine.status. It can either be a dead coroutine, it could be suspended, or I think it could be active is the other one. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but typically this will just print you the status of the coroutine. Now, going back to those statuses, so when a coroutine runs all the way through, it is considered dead. And from my experience, you cannot call that coroutine, you cannot use that coroutine anymore. It is a dead thread. So that is why typically in coroutines you're going to use while loops to run your code. Now this I find personally really good to use like tower defense wave systems maybe. Um, I've experimented with that a little bit. Coroutines are just very useful in the sense that you can just run multiple stuff at the same time for that reason. Now that's coroutine.create is what we'll look at first for this. So we have a new coroutine, and the only parameter for coroutine.create is typically a function argument, is usually what's given, and this is going to be the code that runs in that function. Now we have coroutine yield in here, and there's no parameters for this function, by the way. Coroutine.create just creates a new thread. It's just a standard way of doing things. Now what coroutine.yield is going to do it is just in a sense going to pause our thread here, and that's where you'll at any point that the coroutine's running, it just pauses it and suspends it. That's why if you use coroutine.status, it may print that the coroutine is suspended because it's just not active at the moment. Then we also have coroutine.wrap, which works very similarly to coroutine.create. It creates a new function thread here. However, there is something different with coroutine.wrap. It allows us to call it as a function so we can have arguments. And I'll get into that when we talk about coroutine.resume in a second. So as you can see here, I have this message argument, which I have passed in there, which I'm using in my wrapped coroutine. And then we're yielding it once we reach the third time through in the loop. So now we're going to get to coroutine.resume. What coroutine.resume is going to do, and the only thing I'd say that could be a bit confusing about coroutines is that there is no coroutine.start. Resume is what you use every time you want to start a coroutine. So you're not going to do coroutine.start. You're always going to use coroutine.resume. Just remember that. And then with a wrapped coroutine, as you can see here, it is literally just a function call to resume it. And then you have your parameters in here. So yeah, that's really all that there is to know about coroutines. It's a lot to take in, I'm sure, in this small amount of time. However, one thing I highly recommend doing is trying out and making your own test code and experimenting with it. You can run other code at the same time. So like here, we're gonna have these things active, and then we're gonna honestly instantaneously for I equals 131 do print hello there, or hello world, something typical. And then we're going to wait 1. And as you can see here, like I said earlier, See, this code is running simultaneously alongside these coroutines. And that's the beauty of it. You can have these coroutines active while you're doing other stuff inside the script within your game. So hopefully that was easy to process. I wanted to make this tutorial a bit short because coroutines are powerful, but I don't want to do like a 20+ minute video as that might be harder to watch. So feel free to just leave a comment down below if you have any questions about it or if you have any video ideas because I'd love to hear that. And that's it. I'll try to have a better upload schedule this time around. We'll see how that goes, but I've been busy with college, so. But yeah, I'm happy to have this video published for you guys. So I'll see you in the next one.